God's blessing from Dublin Island. We have 24th of March 2024. I want to start from that this is not a financial advice. So do your own research and do your own diligence. We are not heading towards peace. As a matter of fact, we're heading towards war. Economy is not strong and it is not growing. And as a matter of fact, it is heading towards collapse. In general, things are not getting better. But those two which I mentioned first are the most important. They will be the most devastating when they happen. Powers that be accelerate their evil plans like there is no tomorrow. They are clearly accelerating everything. In Europe, they are trying to cut off people from transportation, energy, and food. I won't even mention money because Europe obviously is part of the same system as US. In the US, they're pushing hyperinflation plans and hoping for controlled demolition of financial system to gain complete control over your money and resources with new monetary system. And this is all happening in the background. Obviously you cannot find it in the mainstream media. You cannot find it in Christians' publications or even in Christian blogs. It's all happening right now and it's accelerating big time. The majority of people are oblivious to what is happening, what is really happening. And what is the most tragic fact is that Christians are the most oblivious of them all. Because of whatever reasons, but that's what is happening. Nobody's sounding alarm. Church leaders do not see the approaching danger. Life in the church goes as normal. And we basically have something what is clearly described in Matthew 15:14. Matthew 15:14 says, "Let them alone. They are blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind leads the blind, both will fall into the ditch." So, as I was saying previously in many of my recordings, you have to take responsibility for your life. You do not create peace in yourself just on the fact that leaders in your church don't see the problem. Don't rest in peace. Don't rest in peace because people around you don't see the problem. That's the problem. Because people do not see that. You may be the only one who can see that. You may be the only one who can see approaching danger and is taking the steps to somehow prepare for that. But if you go with the crowd, you will end up where they will end up. And big majority, just they go on with their lives, getting married. It's like with times of Noah, getting married and having feasts and everything. and the flood came and bang, all gone. So it's a somewhat similar situation. The danger is coming. Some people see that, and majority doesn't. It's exactly the same situation. And they all do whatever they do, like regular life, having fun and everything, not preparing. And then the flood comes, and that's it. The same is going to happen now. Well, the day will come, the economy will fall, currencies will collapse, possibly war will expand much more than it is now. And then it will be very difficult to do anything, to do any preparation, because everybody will be in panic. So it's, for instance, better, I'm not saying that you have to do that, but it depends on your situation and what God is telling you. It's better to store food now than then run to empty shops and try to buy something. So I did mention in previous recordings, how to prepare, and there are two major areas when how you preparing. One is spiritual. So you see God, you asking Him what you're supposed to do, how you should prepare. Is there any resources you should gather or do other things? And you also you learning to exercise your authority, healing, food multiplication, or other things multiplication. How about changing water into wine or oil, cooking oil, or maybe even other oil. So things like that. I did talk about it before. And that's the spiritual part. And then you have a physical part where you gather resources, you pay your debts, you maybe make a big pantry somewhere where you can store your food, non-perishable. Maybe you have to invest in something so your money will last, so will not go down the drain with the rest. Things like that. So it is up to you, because nobody is sounding alarm. Except people who don't know God, they sounding alarm. Well, some of them may be hiding that they don't know God. They do know God. I know at least about few of them that from different statements they made, they seem to be knowing God, but they do not mix those two things, because then they would be ridiculed. They are very well known specialists in finance and economy. So people are sounding alarm, but are typically not Christians. Most of prophetic voices, they say a lot of messages, but they seem to be completely off what is really happening. Then you have those that know about it. Sorry. There are those in that group called wealth transfer. So obviously there are scripture that this is in the scripture that you may get a wealth transfer from the wicked to the just. Excuse me. But it is not that simple. And I don't think it is widespread that then some prophet comes out and says, okay, you invest in that. But I don't think it is that simple. And that it is publicly known, in a sense that you have a prophet, some prophetic voice in parentheses, saying that this and that, if you invest in this and that, this will reach that and that price. And now all the Christians who listen to that prophet just go and buy and invest. I don't think it's working that way. I think it is between person and God, that God reveals to certain people what to do and how to do, where to put their money, but it is not made public. I don't believe that. As a matter of fact, I believe that I think almost all, if not all, of those public wealth transfer prophecies are deception. They're pure deception to take your eyes off the God, and you're waiting for that transfer which will never come. And I'm not saying that you have no right to have a transfer, wealth transfer, because it is biblical, but it should come from you seeking God yourself. And I said it before also. It's not first time I'm saying this. It should come from, one of the reasons God wanted that is that He wanted you to seek Him. And it turned to be something completely different. And some people would come out, tell about some dream they had or the word they think they got, and then a whole bunch of people would follow them. And you have a lot of those people, a lot of following on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere. And they just, so far all the dates are dead. I mean, they failed in all the dates and everything. So as I'm saying, my personal view is it is all deception. And I think practically all. Because God is asking people to seek Him, and He can reveal them in a personal way what they should do, and not to run around and share that revelation because it was for this particular person. So there's another thing like that. So there's that in the church happening. It's offside for many of the church leaders, or most of them. It seems to be marginal for them, but it's pretty big on the internet. But it's slowly dying because all those prophecies turn to be false. Only those that were put away in time, far in time. People still hoping that it will happen. But anyway, the only way we can do that is to see God and see if He can reveal to us something what we can do to come out of Egypt with wealth. Because what we have now at the moment is sort of Egypt. So not offending Egyptians, I'm talking historically, biblically, that Israelites were in Egypt and they were slaves. And they were basically, they had no rights, they had to work for free and so on. And very similar things is happening now, and it's only going to increase. But God is giving us a way to get out of that. And that's the thing. That's what people miss. If you prepare, you will come out of that. All the plagues which will fall on the system will not fall on you. So you can come out of that. That's your hope. That's our hope. But we have to seek God to find our way, what we have to prepare, what we have to do, so we can also be the light for others. Maybe become Joseph's, have storehouses, sort of storehouses. Because I don't think everything, even if you look at Joseph, he wasn't giving away those things. He was selling them. So, and that way they enslaved the entire Egyptian population then. It wasn't free. But anyway, I think God is giving call to Joseph's, so they will be able to prepare something what will save many, help many, either with food or job or place to live, don't know. Depends on the country or place, circumstances. And it's important that you know where you should live. That's something also I said before. I'm repeating myself, but I have to. If the war, bigger war will break out, it won't be everywhere. Some places it will be easier. Some places it will be more difficult. I don't know what will happen with the United States, if it will stay as one country or not. Or if it will fall apart. I know there's many messages from so-called prophets. They declare blessing and everything, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I have no answer. I'm not convinced in any direction. So I'm anticipating both. But Europe looks terrible. Europe is heading towards complete control over people. And it's accelerating that on a big time. So if those people won't rise up, or the Europe won't collapse, EU I mean, it would be very bad in here. It will be very bad. Because we're heading towards totalitarian state. They're taking control of all the countries basically, without them asking for permission. It's all public. You see what they vote for in Parliament. So that's where we are heading, and that's just Europe, US, and then you have probably US China war and so on. But then you have other places, Russia and everything. So we're heading. It is a calm before the storm. This is a calm before the storm. So don't be deceived, but the fact it is calm or quiet or nobody's saying anything. Apparently recently, it was like 2 days ago, on Friday or Thursday, in UK, it was announced that people should prepare for war. I mean, it was announced. It was said publicly that people should be prepared for that. That may happen. So if public announcement like that are already happening, so what do you think? Where are we heading? And that's basically what it is. So I know it sounds unchristian, but take matters in your hands or in your prayers. Don't leave them to your leaders, because Matthew 15:14. That's what it is. That's where we are. Not all. I'm not saying all. I'm not saying everybody. Majority. Huge majority. God bless you.